Greetings to the millions of voices who cheered when The Acolyte was finally canceled, and to the 40% of you who still haven't subscribed yet. It's been a year and a half since the show, whose original pitch reportedly made Kathleen Kennedy cry, was ultimately canceled by Kathleen Kennedy herself, a decision that left a handful of fans and thousands of content creators reacting for one simple reason. The Acolyte was somehow too cringe and too woke even for Lucasfilm. And yet, some people still refuse to let it go, including The Acolyte's showrunner, former personal assistant to Harvey Weinstein, Leslie Headland, who has now emerged to finally take full responsibility for the show's failure. Just kidding. She blames YouTubers. Here we go. According to Headland, YouTube commentary shaped the narrative around The Acolyte and directly led to its cancellation. First of all, on behalf of content creators everywhere, you're welcome. But honestly, if we really had that much power, Kurtzman Trek wouldn't exist, Doctor Who might still be alive, and the Rings of Power never would have happened. The reality is this. Ever since The Acolyte was announced back in 2020 with Leslie Headland attached, it was one of the most predictable failures in entertainment history. It quickly became a symbol of everything that's gone wrong with Disney's handling of Star Wars. Before we break that down, let's hear what Leslie Headland herself had to say. She labeled YouTube's Star Wars commentators as fascist and racist while explaining why the show failed. She claimed that releasing the show during an election year contributed to audiences moving away from DEI-focused projects. That's a convenient excuse, but completely wrong. People didn't stop watching because it was an election year. They stopped watching because shows like this aren't connecting with audiences. No viewers means no money. It's that simple. Headland also admitted the show was a major risk. And yes, building a series around the unpopular High Republic era, which replaced the beloved expanded universe, was risky. Alienating longtime fans always is. But taking a new character and forcing her into an existing franchise while elevating her above legacy characters, that's not bold storytelling, that's a tired Hollywood trope. She also claimed creative limitations, no empire, no stormtroopers, no political elements, yet still insisted criticism of the show was valid. Great, then we're done here. Because the vast majority of criticism had nothing to do with politics. It was about what actually happened inside the show. Still, she walked that statement back almost immediately, claiming the show was attacked and weaponized by certain media outlets.
She insisted she wasn't online during the controversy, while also claiming to be a lifelong Star Wars fan. There is no favorite Star Wars movie, she said. There is only Star Wars. She talked about knowing YouTube critics for years, even claiming she supported some of them on Patreon, a claim that many have called outright fabrication. Then came the real headline moment. She said some YouTubers are respectable, some are opportunists, and then, according to her, there are the fascists and racists. Yes, of course, that massive army of racist Star Wars fans, famous for loving Lando Calrissian, Mace Windu, and Samuel L. Jackson. Ironically, the most blatant act of racism in modern Star Wars history came from Disney itself, when Finn was reduced in size on posters for the Chinese market. And even actor John Boyega later criticized the franchise for tokenism, pointing out that diversity was only acceptable as long as minority characters didn't lead or replace legacy heroes. Headland went on to argue that YouTube commentary makes money by tearing down content. Commentary videos, live streams, Patreon support. She framed it all as grifting. But here's the truth. If studios actually listened to YouTubers, The Acolyte never would have been made. Hundreds of millions of dollars would have been saved. She did make one statement worth agreeing with, that commentary around Star Wars is now more culturally impactful than the actual franchise.
And she's right, because Disney-era Star Wars has failed to tell compelling stories. The most interesting part is the conversation around the failures. Lucasfilm and friendly media outlets have created this environment by blaming fans instead of taking responsibility. We saw it with Moses Ingram during Obi-Wan Kenobi. We saw it again with The Acolyte, preemptive accusations launched before the show even aired. Why? Because they knew the product was bad. This is Hollywood Marketing 101. Create a victim narrative, blame the audience, label critics as toxic, and hope emotions override quality. Leslie Headland even invited select YouTubers to Lucasfilm, some of whom later supported efforts to de-platform critics for simply criticizing a TV show. Here's a better solution. Make a good show. The Acolyte earned its scores honestly, 19% on Rotten Tomatoes, 3.2 on Metacritic, 4.3 on IMDb. It was canceled because it cost too much, nobody watched it, and it wasn't good. And no, that wasn't the fault of YouTubers or fans. We didn't hire the showrunner. We didn't approve the $230 million budget. We didn't write the scripts. We didn't cast actors who couldn't deliver. And we certainly didn't decide to antagonize the fan base. Every level of leadership, from Bob Iger to Kathleen Kennedy to Leslie Headland, played a role in turning The Acolyte into a cultural failure. Because if YouTubers really had that much influence, Season 2 would already be in production. So let me end with this message on behalf of content creators everywhere. Please, renew The Acolyte. If you liked what you heard, like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't, Lucasfilm, thanks for watching this long. I'll see you in the next video. Outro music.